Welcome everybody to another exciting episode of HomeKit Insider. You've got me, as always this week, Andrew O'Hara. This episode is brought to us by ZocDoc, the free app that you can download to help you find a doctor quickly and easily. Thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this episode. Hope everyone had a wonderful holiday weekend, kind of a holiday weekend. Thursday was kind of in the mix this year for the 4th, so for anyone that celebrates, that's here in the US, happy belated holidays. But we have so many fun things to talk about in this episode, so let's go ahead and dive into it, starting off with something that I just kind of stumbled upon. I had not heard of it before, but it is a Kickstarter, so I wouldn't get super excited yet, because it's not something that you can go out and buy, but it is called the Ambient One. It is a air quality monitor that looks very industrial. Nothing like what I've really seen on the market so far, and it's designed for your what they call creative spaces. I also spend a lot of time in the woodshop. I had to hop in the shower before recording this because it was covered in sawdust from working in there today, and I find this really, really interesting. So basically monitor and record 4+ air pollutants as well as AI powered insights. As far as we care about, this will, or they plan to support everything from Matter to Apple Home or HomeKit. So there's some good stuff there. The stuff that they're tracking is particulate matter, which is PM1, PM2.5, etc. There's VOCs, carbon dioxide, nitrogen oxides, temperature and humidity. And they say more sensors can be added as part of the dock, starting with formaldehyde sensing. So I can see this being expanded with more sensors being added to it. The app, at least the concepts here, the current design of it, looks very nice. The product itself is, like I said, industrial. So it's all metal looking. It's very metal. There's like a grate on the front. It's like a standing up book, but it's all made out of like a slab of aluminum, I assume, with what appears to be an e-ink display at the top of the front that gives you an idea about how your air quality is. Then there's this handle on the side that's a bright orange. I really like it. I think the design of this is very interesting. I'm kind of excited by this. It is a Kickstarter. As I said, there's no like anything here yet. The product is not delivered. There's no HomeKit certification. You can't do anything, but it seems like a very legit product that I'm excited for. That little handle, there's actually a little video. They put it sideways so it can prop up and work horizontally too. So some cool stuff going on. I'm jazzed about this. I hope this actually makes it to market. Second new product this week, the Anona Holo Wi-Fi Smart Lock. This is a new smart lock from a new brand, and it looks pretty promising. So it is launching, I believe, this month here in July. It supports Matter over Wi-Fi, which again will include Apple Home or HomeKit. It's a retrofit style lock, which means it will work with your existing lock that you have, so you theoretically get to keep your keys, unless you opt for the keypad version that replaces the exterior portion with a keypad. So you have a couple different options there. The lock itself is $90, $89, and then $39 for the keypad. I believe these are like the pre-order prices, because honestly, dang, those are some pretty nice prices for a Matter over Wi-Fi smart lock. I am happy about that. It runs on 4 AA batteries. That should get you 4 to 6 months on regular Wi-Fi, and there's a 8 months on low power mode. They mentioned they have kind of like this travel mode, which puts it into lower power and reminds you to take a physical key. I just think it's kind of funny. Like if you're going on a trip and you remember to put your lock into travel mode, I would hope you would just remember to take the key instead of having to have your lock tell you that for you. I don't know. Of course, they have the anti-snipping or anti-peeking cues for when you're putting in your code, so you can add additional characters before and after. People don't know what your actual code is buried in the middle of all those random numbers. Pretty solid looking smart lock. It's very compact, so it is the album art for this chapter, but it's like a little rounded square, almost like an app icon. It's a little bit bigger when you see somebody holding it in their hands and it looks like in the picture. And the picture looks very cute and bespoke, and then it's a little chunkier when you look at it, but it reminds me very much of the August, but with just a slightly different industrial design. But it looks metal. It looks really nice. I like this a lot. Okay, so The third product on those is actually a whole slew of products, and I have a couple of them here with me that we can talk about. So Peak Design. This was actually last week, I believe, or a couple weeks ago. So I should have talked about them sooner, but Peak Design has launched their Qi2 lineup. And not just like one or two chargers. They, I believe, replaced their entire lineup with Qi2 versions. I love it. So what exactly does that encompass? There's a wireless charging stand, wireless charging car adhesive mount, wireless charging vent mount, wireless charging 1-inch ball mount adapter, and wireless charging 20mm ball mount adapter. So if you have a ball mount already there, you have a 20mm, the 1-inch version that you can connect, or you can go with an adhesive one, a vent mount one, and then there's your standard interior, your inside your house charging stand. The two that I picked out of the lineup to show you guys is the charging stand and the vent mount, because I like them both very much. So if you're watching the video, in my hand, I have the Peak Design charging stand that is Qi2 certified. It is very thin. It's all metal, very all metal here. It's a black design and it folds flat and then it just opens right up. Very nice, strong hinge that I like. And then you have your Qi pad on the top, your Qi2 pad. There's a little routing spot on the bottom or behind it for that cable to be routed back and off your desk. Very simple design. Nothing crazy here, nothing superfluous. It's just a very simple design and I like it. I have not seen anything like this. It feels very premium and high quality because it is all aluminum with a Qi2 pad at the top. Of course, because it'll prop up. So you can use this flat if you wanted to, or you can use it as a stand, put your phone into it, work in landscape mode for standby. So I like this quite a bit. It comes with your USB-C cable, like a very long looking USB-C cable, but you're going to have to provide your own power adapter. So if you've got like a multi-charger or anything like that, plug it into there. The vent mount is crazy and it looks a little intimidating when you first open it up because it's got all sorts of like moving pieces and clamps and all sorts of stuff going on here. But I will explain it if you're watching the video. You're also going to see like visually what this is doing. So you have your Qi2 charging pad, which is connected to a ball socket. It's a very strong hold on that. It's not adjustable. It's just taken care of for you. But it's a really good hold. Like you can move it around, but it's not very easy to do. Some of the other ones like that, I've complained about them on the show. You have to tighten them down and I feel like I get them very tight. You hit a bump and they still tilt down. That does not happen with this one. I've used their original one. It doesn't happen. So you have that and it's attached to a little arm. That arm has a little knob on the front. You can loosen that and you can move the arm wherever you need it to go. So why would you need to move your little arm around like that? It's because when you have vent air coming out, your phone could block your vent air. Now you can move the phone off to the side, to the other side. Maybe it's just in the light, anything like that. So that way it's not blocking your airflow. It's not getting overheated from hot air coming out of your vent. Maybe in the wintertime, anything like that. So there are ways that it really can help. So I love that it has that arm to offset it from the vent itself. Now, the way it connects to the vent, 2 pieces, kind of unheard of. So first, you do have your little hook that you loosen with that knob and it extends back, I believe. I think it extends back, not really extending. Maybe it doesn't extend, but that actually clips behind your vent blades. And then the bottom one adjusts up and down and slides onto a second vent blade. So you're holding onto 2 of them, which prevents your vent blades from twisting and rotating. You got 2 of them there. So hook on one, clip on the bottom. It's going to really hold your phone secure. It's not going to move up and down or side to side. It's not going to fall off at all. I mean, it is clipped on there securely. So this is really nice. I like their car mount a lot. I will say it does not work on my particular car, which is a big old bummer because this is one of my favorite ones that I found. And now that it has Qi2 support, it is even better. But the reason why it doesn't work on mine is I have super duper thin vents in my Jeep. It like runs right across the front and I've got like 2 blades in there and I cannot get these 2 close enough to attach to those 2 blades. So I can't use this. I can only use one that has one and then like a stabilizing arm on the bottom. Something like that would work. But I cannot get away with using the new Qi2 vent mount from Peak Design. Fortunately, they've got the ball mount ones and the adhesive ones. I can just go that way instead. Links for all of these things are in the show notes. These are available now. You can currently buy them. Just go click buy if you want to try any of them out. Let me know if you do, because they're pretty cool. So, two big things that I want to talk about to round out the episode. First, SmartThings has a huge update that's going to have implications for iOS 18 and Matter. So we're going to talk about that. And then there's like over the holiday, there's a big leak that happened regarding a home accessory from Apple. Yeah, stay tuned. Before we get to that, let's thank our sponsor for the episode. It is Shopify. I've talked about them before. You guys know why I love them. They are who you should turn to if you are running a business. Do you have a physical store? Are you selling stuff online? Are you selling physical goods? Are you selling digital goods? Don't worry, Shopify can handle all that for you, including managing your inventory between your physical retail and your online space. It's magical. Shopify is so easy to implement. It is very easy to get going or to migrate to if you have an existing system in place. On top of that, your customers are going to love it because it is easy to use and relatable. When you get to that checkout, maybe they've never heard of your business before. You're a new startup. Are you guys safe to buy through? People are unsure because they haven't bought from you before. But when they get to that checkout process, all of a sudden they recognize that familiar flow. It's Shopify that is powering you, which means they feel safe going through that checkout process. They can use Shop Pay and just enter a code that gets texted to their phone and they can check out instantly. You can use Apple Pay, Google Pay, or just enter in that credit card information. So there's so many options for people to be able to pay. On top of that, once they do buy from you, they can track that whole thing from the moment they place the order to when it's fulfilled to shipped to at their door, and they can rate it, and they can use the Shop app to look for other products that they like, including getting recommended to your site if they haven't bought from you before and they maybe like similar products. I've done this before. It's really cool. I think they use like AI to like pop up these suggestions. It's awesome. Yeah, there are so many benefits. Here's a couple things they like to tout. So Shopify helps turn browsers into buyers for the internet's best converting checkout, up to 36% better compared to other leading e-commerce platforms. And you can sell more with less effort thanks to Shopify Magic, your AI-powered all-star. So here's what you guys can do. Sign up for a $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/HomeKit, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/HomeKit now to grow your business, no matter what stage you're in. Shopify.com/HomeKit. Thank you to Shopify for sponsoring this episode. Okay, SmartThings. This was a big one, folks. This was a huge one in terms of updates here. And I know that we're on HomeKit Insider, and I'll bring it back around. But SmartThing is Samsung's smart home platform. So first things first, they are the first platform to fully support Matter 1.2. That includes robotic vacuum cleaners. It supports fridges, air conditioners, like in-room air conditioners, standalone ones, dishwashers, laundry washing machines, robotic vacuums, smoke and carbon monoxide detectors, air quality sensors, air purifiers, and fans. All that has been added there alongside, I did say robotic vacuum cleaners. That was in the list. But I think the robotic vacuum cleaners is the big one. Apple is actually adding robotic vacuum cleaner support with iOS 18. And we've been in this weird limbo space because Matter 1.2 was released quite a while ago, and so far, no one supported it. And even Apple, that is supporting robotic vacuum cleaners with iOS 18, has remained mum on the rest of the Matter 1.2 spec. Where are all those other devices for Apple Home? Fridges, washing machines, all of those. None of those are supported inside of Apple Home yet. And as far as we know, they're not going to be supported in the first release of iOS 18 either. So I just don't know what's going on. And I wish there was some clarity on this because it makes it very, very confusing with Matter. It is very hard to navigate this. So we'll see how that ends up kind of reconciling. We'll see if maybe Apple has some more motivation to get this stuff out, because we are seeing competing platforms adding carte blanche support for it. I mean, they're out with all 1.2 of Matter with Samsung SmartThings, not just one item, one or two that they cherry pick from the list. It's everything. So we'll see where Apple goes from there. Interestingly, it also seems that there's nothing that works with Matter quite yet. The couple that have been out there, like the SwitchBot ones work with Matter, but they were only showing as on and off switches. I have not tried them again in iOS 18 yet. The Roborock S8 Max V Ultra has supposedly been fully Matter certified, but they haven't like turned it on the vacuum yet. So I'm wondering if this is just because there was no platforms that supported it, so they didn't need to do it. Now that SmartThings supports Matter 1.2 and that is out, maybe this is going to get enabled. I'd like to see it on the Dbot stuff from Ecovacs. I'd like to see it on the Roborock. I want to see SwitchBot stuff updated across the board. I want to see this. I want to start testing it. And as soon as I do, I will report back to all of you guys how it actually works. We've talked about it in theory, but we'll see what the implementation fully looks like. Now, let's end this with a mixture of speculation and excitement, because we have been talking about this product possibly existing for quite a while. Mac Rumors has dug in to some code references, and they have identified a new device with the identifier Home Accessory 17.1. This is a new category that Apple has not had before. So things like the HomePod, those are filed under the audio accessory category or identifier. So this seems, or is for sure, a whole new product category that Apple has not released yet. And this gets me insanely excited. On top of that, Mac Rumor says that because of the 17.1 in the identifier name, that points to it using Apple's A18 chip. What is that going to mean? Well, if anything, it'll support, or has the capability to support, Apple Intelligence. Big stuff here. So that's a huge ability that this could unlock, because the A17 Pro supports it on the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max. Now this new smart home accessory will have an A18 chip in there, meaning it will support Apple Intelligence, at least as far as the specs are concerned, but it would make sense for it to work there too, for Apple's Assistant to be able to do so much with that smart home display. And I'm hoping that we're going to see a large announcement of other smart home things to go along with it, because with iOS 18, as I had talked about, you can't do things like add, complex commands. I cannot walk into a room. I cannot say, Apple Assistant, can you close the shades and turn on the lights? Can't do it. I can't say, hey, can you turn on the lights, set them at like 10% and set them to blue? I can't do multiple things. It's one or the other. I can like turn them on to 10%. Cool. But I can't turn them on and set a color at the same time. I have to wait for it to happen, then do it again. I'm hoping beyond hope that with the smart home product announcement, this home accessory, maybe Apple is going to include a bunch of new upgraded abilities there for its digital assistant, and a lot of it will work with this device. It's a lot of hoping there, but we'll see what actually comes to fruition. It's possible it could even still come out this year. A couple other tidbits to note is it's running a forked version of tvOS. That's what we've talked about before. Apple basically already used a forked version of tvOS to run on HomePod, so it really makes sense that the new smart home accessory would also run a forked version of tvOS. On top of that, we've seen things like that new display changing stuff for wallpapers, or not wallpapers, but screensavers with tvOS 18. How much does that look like something that would be at home on a smart display? It literally looks like, an iPad or a smart display UI. Apple's been working towards this for a while through tvOS. Some of those features are showing up on your TV, and I think more of them are going to come to this smart home accessory. Speaking of Apple TVs, there were also two new Apple TV models found. So there's Apple TV 14.4 and Apple TV 14.5. So this could still be coming. Originally, Mark Gurman said that a new Apple TV was imminent. And then he pulled that back saying it's no longer imminent. It's still coming, but it's not imminent. So this is further evidence that Apple's working on this. It's coming. We should start to get a little bit excited about these accessories, these new devices. What do you guys think? Please let me know. Comment on the YouTube video. Write me over on Twitter at Andrew_OSU. Send me an email at Andrew@appleinsider.com. Any of those ways. Let me know what you want to see from these smart home accessories, what you want to see from a new Apple TV, and when do you think we're going to get these? I'm really holding out hope that the new home accessory makes it out this year, but who knows? It could take a little longer. Apple Intelligence is taking a lot of work. We know that it is supposedly coming to Vision Pro. That's going to be awesome. I don't know if we mentioned that on the show before, but yeah, Vision Pro, Mark Gurman says that it will get support for Apple Intelligence. It's got an M series chip on the inside. Apple just needs more time to make sure like the UI fits that type of device, all of that stuff. So it's coming. Stuff's coming. We should be excited. Thank you to everybody for listening to this episode. I so appreciate you guys tuning in every week. I love doing this show. So thank you so much to everybody. Please give this podcast 5, 10, 100-star rating on your podcast platform of choice. You can watch the video version of this at youtube.com/HomeKit Insider. Otherwise, stay tuned. We'll have a new episode for you next week.